So I'm looking at the official web page of the World Rock Paper Scissors Association, and this membership is free. You're free to actually join it and probably engage in their tournaments. They also have a shop for sale of products, so you can also check that out. So we're going to be building the rock paper scissors game using Python. The first thing we need to do is check out the rules on the official website. Let's go down here. Official rules of rock paper scissors, and it says that rock wins against scissors, scissors wins against paper, and paper wins against rock. I already put out these rules in our .py file. We'll be heading there over shortly. And next we need to go over to Google and search the rock, paper, scissors ASCII images, because we need a way of representing the rock, paper, scissors images. Because we need a way of representing the rock, paper, scissors on our console screen. Now, a very kind guy 3 years ago has already created a simple ASCII image or ASCII art regarding rock, paper, scissors. I'll be leaving the description to the official website of the Rock Paper Scissors Association and also to this ASCII image. Okay, so let's head over back to Visual Studio Code and get started. Okay, over here in Visual Studio Code, I already edited the ASCII image to fit what we actually want and put them in variables, multi-line variables, and also created the rules out here. And before we go over to that, so if in case you missed our last game, you can actually check it out. The guessing game is the video before this one, and you get probably learn a thing or two before moving over to this. What we have here is the rule of the rock, paper, scissors. It says rock wins against scissors, paper wins against rock, and scissors wins against paper. And I've given it a value of 0, 1, 2, meaning that 0 represents rock, 1 will represent paper, and 2 will represent scissors. That already tells us that the first thing we need to do is create a variable, a list. Create a variable that will house a list that's going to hold the variables that we already created here, which is rock, paper, and scissors. So let's create a variable called guess and give it the value of rock, paper, and scissors. Yeah. So we're also going to need a way for our computer to be able to make guesses regarding the values that are stored within the guess list. The indexes of a list starts from 0 to 1. That means 0, 1, 2. That's why we have the 0, 1 down to 2. So let's also import the random module. It's going to be useful for our computer to make guesses among the 3 guesses that are available. So the next thing we need to print, we say print instructions to the user. Let's say 0 for rock, 1 for paper, and 2 for scissors. Let's create a new line. So it appears on a new line. We'll say taking the user's guess. User's guess equals to input. Kindly make a choice. Right? Save that. And next we need to say if the user's guess dot is digit to check if it's a digit, the number entered in there is a digit, and we also ensure that the user's guess is less than 3, because we don't want the guesses going beyond the available numbers that we have, which is 0, 1, 2. If that works, then we can now say we can recreate the user guess variable and reassign it to itself as an integer. So we don't have to keep adding the int to it. All values that are gotten from the input function are actually gotten as string. So we need to find a way to convert it back to an integer so we can make arithmetic operations or comparisons with it. Now say while true, the while loop will continue to run as long as the condition is true, which is going to be an infinite loop. So we'll have to find a way to break out of it. So while true, computer guess equals to, let's say, random dot rand int and 0 to 2. And just for the sake of learning, in case you have a list that's actually large and you want to just get the number of values or number of indices that are available, you can see the length of the list minus 1. That's what we just did over there. Still the same thing as the previous one. I say if user's guess is equals to computer guess, you can print out will say you both selected, okay, let's put guess. I'll put the user guess. Since the user guess is entered as a value, that's also going to represent an index within the list. We can just use that to print out what the values of the variables that are stored above, which are represented by indexes within the list. So you both selected that, and you can now say response. Since if you both select it, it's a draw. Response equals to input. You have a draw. You want to play again. Say Y for yes, N for no. Save that. And we can now say if response dot lower, so we ensure that the values, whatever character is entered is in lowercase, is equal to Y. If it's equals to yes, So print, we'll have to can repeat this. We can repeat this section out again. Say this rather than typing that all out. Print this. Remember that indentation is very important in Python, and that's the way it uses to tell which code belongs to a specific code block. Okay, and we need to check if the user has entered the digit again, if the criteria for execution is correct, or for running the program is correct. So if this happens, we'll go ahead and do this again. Reassign the value and ensure that it's back to an integer, and say continue. That's to continue in the loop. Else, print out 8 to see you go, goodbye. Right, yeah. And you break out of the while loop. I think the next section we need to take care of is what happens if the values are not equal to the computer. The user's value is not equal to the computer guess. So remember we said that rock wins against scissors, paper wins against rock, and scissors wins against paper. We've assigned it the value of 0, 1 to down to 2. That means that every time we have 0 over 2, the person with 0 wins, and 1 same thing down here. But if you look at this logic over here, you find out that if you look at the logic over here, you're going to understand that at every point where the value is greater, the greater value wins, except for this condition where we have rock against scissors. That's so that if the user guesses a value that's always greater than the computer value, you can say that the user is always going to win, except on the condition where the user guesses 0 and the computer guesses 2. And in that condition, the criteria to determine who wins based on who selects a greater number is no longer valid. So in that case, you have to make use of this. So let's just recreate that using if statement and the elif statements. So we're going to say the first, so if computer is not equal to, I'll say elif user's guess is equals to 0 and computer guess is equal to 2. And print out you win. Print out, we need to print out what the user guessed and what the computer guessed. Let's format the string. Let's format the printout. I say this, I say guess, user's guess, then print out guess, computer's guess. I think that should be good. Then we can recopy this out again. And another condition, let's say, regardless of that, that's it. Now the user guesses 2 and the computer guesses 0. That's how you lose. Yeah, you lose. So the next elif is going to say elif will that meet the other criteria. I'll say user guess greater than computer guess. And that condition you say, you can print this out to win. And print this out, just do a little bit of formatting to make it a little bit clearer to read. You can print that out and it says, then the final condition else, print this out. So there are two criteria for a user losing the game. One of it is this: if he doesn't guess a value that is greater than the computer's value, he loses. And the second criteria, regardless of guessing a value that is greater than the computer value, if the computer guesses 0, he also loses. So okay, and that's else. So now we get the final else statement. If the user enters a value that is not a digit or tries to enter a string character, let's say else print invalid number, game over. Yeah, I think that's it. We should have to run the code now and test it. If it doesn't work, then we can make changes to it as it comes up. Yeah, don't forget to check out the guessing section that we took in the last video, and don't forget to hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button. So let's open up our terminal, put it up to full screen, and say Python RPS. Yeah, bye. Let's try entering a character first. Invalid game over. Let's try entering the value that's greater than that. Say invalid game over. So our guess has to be between 0, say between 0, 1, 2. Let's put 2. What's wrong? Line 46. Wrong spelling. Yeah, wrong spelling. So it's less than 3, not 2. Less than 3. Yeah, I'm sure you spotted that out. So let's say 2. We should break out of the loop. Yeah, another error. So let's just work together. What do you think the problem should be? Okay, so we forgot to break out of the loops when execution is made. Just put breaks over here. Loops going over there. My mistake, I'm sure. Rookie mistake. I'm sure you must have picked that out. So let's save that. Yeah. So let's run it. Close the terminal. Let's just force exit this. Clear it up and go. Say 2. Okay, so you both selected 2. You both selected as scissors, and you want to play again. Yes. Okay, let's try 2 again. He still selected. Like the computer is reading my mind. Let's play again and try 1 this time. You lose. I selected paper and still selected 2. That's good. Okay, so that's basically how the game works. Let's do it again. Let's enter a letter, say invalid entry. You win. Selected scissors, you selected paper, so we win. I think we should have the screen cleared up at every point so it doesn't look too clumsy. And let's import OS, save it. For every entry, you can say os.system clear. Yeah. If you're on a Windows computer, rather than clear, you're going to have CLS. But for Linux based and Mac OS, you can use the clear keyword. And over here again, we have it over here too. Yeah. So let's run and see how that works. It clears the screen too. You both selected, you want to select a yes. You can make a choice now too. Yeah, you win. So we clear it up. If you play it, run it again, it clears the screen. Select 3, valid entry. Okay, so I thank you for watching. It has been a very, very short tutorial, just a brief look at lists and what can be done with it, and also further look at the while loop. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell, and I'll see you at the next video. Thank you.